What lawful basis was there for you to ask for her ID?
I don't know.
In order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
I do not know the law legally.
Okay. Doesn't there have to be reasonable suspicion that the person committed a criminal offense or violated a law?
Because I don't know the law exactly.
You don't know when an officer is allowed to detain somebody?
Sergeant Jennifer Larson and Lieutenant Donald Milazzo, both 20-year police officers, are being deposed for illegally arresting Samantha, aka Pink Camera Magic on YouTube, who was recording at the Cook County Courthouse from outside.
Hey ma'am, you know this is a public building?
Exactly, that's why I'm recording it.
It's also a court facility?
Yep.
Which there is a judicial law or judicial order that says that you cannot tape this building.
Can I see that order?
Yes, come on in. We're going to check your IDs too.
Oh, no, I'm not going in.
Oh yeah, no. We're going to run you too.
No, that's all
We're going
right.
to get your name. We're going to do a report and everything. So come on in. Right?
No.
No, yeah, you're going to come in now.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
Because right now you are doing something suspicious.
That's not a reason to detain anybody.
Well, it is for Dana. Come on.
It's really not.
Let's go
so
inside
I'm just going
now.
to stay here and continue recording.
Okay. You're going to come in and we're going to find out who you are and what you're doing here.
No, you're not.
Okay. All right, who's got cuffs? She does not want to go agree.
Lieutenant Milazzo tells Samantha that she can't record in a public building and detains her since she didn't provide her ID. Milazzo doesn't realize that taking photos or filming public locations in all states is permissible unless oral interactions are captured, which is not the situation here.
Okay.
I'm being detained for just taking pictures of the building.
Yes, ma'am. You're doing something suspicious and we need to know who you are and why you're doing it. Okay?
Are you familiar with the First Amendment?
Yes. I am.
Really?
Let's go in. Come on.
Wow.
I tried to do this nicely. You are aware of Homeland Security.
Milazzo violently grabbed Samantha's camera, which was recording him, to detain and take her inside after repeatedly noticing he was being recorded.
Lawyer.
Okay, call your lawyer.
That includes my camera as far as consent.
Well, it's already on.
Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
Oh, great. Why do we always get the crazies?
I don't know.
Sergeant Jennifer Larson, wearing the body cam, is second. Samantha understands that what she and Lieutenant Milazzo are doing is illegal, but they don't realize it. Samantha observes Lieutenant Milazzo messing with her camera after she denies showing her ID again.
Footage.
Do you want to cooperate or not?
Remaining silent.
Okay.
It is only making it worse. Do you want to give us an
Remaining
ID?
silent. Remaining silent. I don't consent to searches.
We're not going to search you. We're asking you for an ID.
In addition, the cops insult her when she asserts her right to remain silent.
What the f is going on today?
I don't know.
Every crazy loon in the building is coming. All we're asking is an ID.
We're asking for an ID.
We'll do a report and you can go on your way with your camera. Otherwise, I'm going to confiscate the camera and we're going to take it downstairs
what crime?
and print you. Because you're suspicious.
Remaining silent.
After seeing little cooperation from Samantha, the cops request to resolve the issue.
This is your choice. You can either give us an ID so that we could do a report on this and find out who you are, or we're going to take you in front of the presiding judge. He's going to hold you in contempt, which means that he can hold you for as long as he wants.
Remaining silent.
Okay, let's do it.
After 10 minutes, Lieutenant Milazzo returned with news or threats against Samantha, who stayed silent as everyone should have.
Yes.
We're going to probably take her in front of the judge.
Okay.
He's going to hold her in contempt for, I think right now he's doing 90 days.
Okay.
So, is that okay with you?
Remaining silent.
Okay, but you realize you're going to go to Cook County Jail for 90 days.
Remaining silent.
Okay?
Okay.
Now you have an option. All you have to do is show us an ID so that we can do a report, and we'll let you go on your way.
I have an option?
Yeah.
We told you that before.
Because right now you're just obstructing and you're in contempt.
Obstructing what?
You're obstructing us from doing our job.
Remaining silent.
All right, cuff her. Let's get her purse.
Ken.
Get her stuff.
I don't consent to searches.
Well, we don't care anymore.
After being handcuffed and arrested for obstruction, Samantha was released without charges. The cops are ignorant that they committed many illegal acts, including detainment, intimidation, arrest, dereliction of duty, search, and property destruction. Samantha hired a top lawyer and sued Cook County for civil rights violations shortly after. The case's outcome is unknown after years of litigation. However, we have footage of Lieutenant Milazzo and Sergeant Jennifer Larson's depositions. The never-before-seen footage shows some of the worst police incompetence and ignorance of the law.
Is it against the law to take pictures of a courthouse from outside?
No, not that I know.
Okay. Is it lawful to arrest somebody for taking pictures outside of a courthouse, of the courthouse?
No, not that I know.
Okay. Is there something
Keep your voice up, please.
Okay, sorry.
So I gotta get every word because it's on video.
Okay.
Are you familiar with this case at all?
Which case?
The case that brings us here today, that you're testifying in?
Yes.
Okay, and in a nutshell, what's the case about?
I would say that Amanda is, I guess I called you to say that she was outside videoing when she shouldn't have been. So she's saying we violated her amendment rights.
You're correct. When you say when she shouldn't have been, what does that mean? Was she doing something wrong?
Just something unusual, what us as officers would consider unusual.
Unusual, okay.
Samantha's lawyer, who knows nothing about the law, pushes Sergeant Jennifer to make her slip deeper.
Depending on where you are in the country, Mormons are unusual, right? Depending on where you are, it might be unusual to see a Mormon. Do you get to detain Mormons in those places?
I don't know if people detain Mormons.
You're gonna have to speak
I don't know if they detain Mormons.
Would it be lawful? Just because it's unusual?
No, I don't.
Okay. Is there something unlawful about recording outside of a building?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Let me ask you this. Was Miss doing anything illegal when she was detained?
No, I would say it was not illegal, unusual.
A police officer should never make the statement about unusual things.
In order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
I do not know the law legally.
You're mistaken if you think Lieutenant Milazzo knew what he was doing.
What would you do if one of those people said to you, what's the difference between arrest and detain? What would your answer be?
We'd call legal.
Mr. Gorman, seated to your left?
No. Sheriff has their own legal.
Oh, okay. Their own legal who helps them understand things like the difference between arrest and detain?
Yes.
Gotcha. Was there a lawful basis to handcuff her?
Yes.
Okay, and what was that lawful basis?
Officer safety.
Lieutenant Milazzo just admitted to not knowing the difference between arrest and detention. He advises them to call the officer's lawyer if they need help. How can a 27-year-old police officer not know the law?
Any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime?
We had reasonable suspicion to ask her what she was doing and why she was doing it, just to get who she was and why.
You and I agree on that you had the right to ask her whatever you wanted to ask her. Did you have the right to put her in handcuffs?
Officer safety.
For the security of the officers, yes.
Okay. What made her a threat?
Her refusing to give any information that was requested of her.
Was she legally obligated to give that information?
When an officer has asked her for security purposes to give her identity up, yes, we do have the right to ask for an identity of somebody for our safety.
After 20 years, Sergeant Larson thinks she's unsafe unless she runs your name. I don't want this cop to pull me over.
Something called a Terry search or a Terry frisk.
I have.
Okay, what is that?
I'm not going to say exactly. I don't know the law.
Okay.
Samantha's lawyer creates a hypothetical scenario to explain why the arrest was wrong, because she knows nothing about the law.
A police officer goes over to somebody on the street. Let's call the person Mr. Plaintiff.
Okay.
Police officer goes to Mr. Plaintiff and says, hey, let me see your ID. And Mr. Plaintiff says, no. Is the officer now allowed to put Mr. Plaintiff in handcuffs and detain him?
I object. It's a hypothetical. It calls for speculation.
Yeah.
You can answer.
Okay. I do believe, yes, for officer safety, they do have the right.
Doesn't there have to be reasonable suspicion that the person committed a criminal offense or violated a law?
is I don't know the law exactly.
Sergeant Jennifer's grilling continues, and her answers need to improve.
Reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime, yes or no?
We weren't sure what she was doing.
Okay, so if you don't know what somebody's doing, do you have reasonable suspicion that they're doing anything in particular?
No, but we have a reasonable response to ask what she was doing.
Right, agreed. You could ask her what she's doing. And when she refuses to answer, are you now allowed to detain her?
Yes.
Who told you this? That you get to detain people who are videoing and refuse to identify themselves when asked?
That's the face of someone caught and humiliated for their crimes, yet never admitting fault. Everything was filmed, and the answer is obvious. Unlike Sergeant Larson, Lieutenant Milazzo wouldn't give up.
Familiar with the Fourth Amendment, by the way?
Vaguely.
What does it say in your own vague terms?
No illegal search and seizure.
Right, unless there's,
Probable cause.
or,
Okay. That's about all I know.
okay, all right, good enough. You said that's about all I know. All right, now, there was somebody else who asked you the same question that I just asked you about your familiarity with the Fourth Amendment, who's in this room right now. Do you know who that person was? My client. Ms. asked you that, didn't she?
I don't recall.
She asked you, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment? You don't remember that?
No.
Lieutenant Milazzo claims he doesn't remember where or who asked him, but we know it was Samantha, and he's acting stupid. As before, everything was recorded.
Lawyer.
Okay, call your lawyer.
That includes my camera as far as consent.
Well, it's already on.
Are you
So.
familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
Oh, great. Why do we always get the crazy?
I don't know.
After reliving the episode, the lawyer mentions his harsh comment to Samantha.
If I tell you that your answer was, oh great, why do we always get the crazies? Would you dispute that?
No.
Does that sound like something you would say to somebody?
That's something I did say that day, yes.
So you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember saying that in response to the question, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
No, I just remember saying it.
Why is it that you felt she was one of the crazies?
When people act in a way that is not in their best interest.
How is she acting that was not in her best interest?
Well, at any time, all she had to do is identify herself. We could have dane our report.
You have an option. All you have to do is show us an ID so that we can do a report, and we'll let you go on your way.
And everything could have gone the own.
And if somebody were to threaten you that unless you comply with their demands, they're going to put you in handcuffs, would you automatically necessarily comply with their demands?
Yes.
No object.
You would.
Calls for speculation.
He was able to answer. So you would. So even if there's somebody who is acting as a law enforcement officer, giving you an unlawful order, threatening you with detainment or arrest or 90 days jail, if you don't comply with their unlawful demands, you would still comply?
Yes.
Alrighty. Is that what you expected her to do, to comply?
Yes.
After hearing it several times, the lawyer questions Lieutenant Milazzo further about the need to identify himself when the police asked.
Law that requires people to identify themselves when requested by law enforcement?
I don't know.
He denies deleting the files from his camera, even though the surgeon's body camera filmed it all.
Did you delete her pictures?
No.
Who did?
Don't know.
You don't know who deleted her pictures?
No.
By the time you got in front of Judge Peter Felice, they were deleted, weren't they?
As far as I know, they were still on there.
You grabbed her camera
Yes.
away from her outside, did you not?
Yes.
From that point until you were in front of Judge Peter Felice, did she ever hold her camera again?
No.
Okay, so you had it the entire time.
Yes.
Didn't Judge Peter Felice talk to you about whether the pictures had been deleted?
He asked for the memory thing so he could delete.
He requested memory to remove them. Milazzo proved the lawyer's claim that the photographs were removed and included a judge in the same illegal act he's accused of.
just said that he asked you for the memory card because he wanted to delete the pictures. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And if he were to testify at some point in time that he absolutely, categorically did not delete those pictures, then would you want to change your answer as to whether you or one of your people did?
I'm going to object. Calls for speculation.
No one had custody of the camera but me.
Okay. Would it have been lawful for you to delete her pictures?
I don't know.
But what do you think? Are you allowed to go over to people's pictures and delete them?
No.
Without a court order?
No.
All right. That would be a violation of which amendment? Do you know?
Lieutenant Milazo's demise came when Samantha requested counsel after being jailed, ending his resistance to questions regarding his criminal acts against her.
What do you do if somebody says they want to talk to a lawyer and you have them in handcuffs?
We allow them to call a lawyer.
Do you keep asking them questions?
It depends on the case.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Tell me the case in which you would continue to ask questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer.
If we're doing an investigation, we're going to ask.
I got you. Okay. Do you know which amendment it is that allows people to demand a lawyer? Do you have any idea?
No.
Have you ever read anybody the Miranda rights?
No.
You've never read anybody their Miranda rights?
No.
Have you ever arrested anybody?
No.
Other than Ms. Berquist?
No.
And you don't know the Miranda rights?
Not offhand, no.
All right. When you arrest somebody, do you have to advise them that they have the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Do you have to advise them that they have the right to an attorney?
Yes.
Do you have to advise them that if they cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to them?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what if somebody says, yes, I want to talk to an attorney? Do you get to keep asking them questions? Or do you have to call a lawyer for them before you want to ask any more questions?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know if you're allowed to keep asking questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer?
No.
How long have you been employed at Cook County Sheriff's?
27 years.
27 years. I imagine you only became a lieutenant recently?
No.
How long ago did you become a lieutenant?
22 years ago.
You've been a lieutenant for 22 years and you don't know the Miranda rights?
The case is ongoing, but this is evidence that the cops wronged Samantha. If you like this video, watch this one and see you next time.